Hey, it's been 3.5 years since I made a MoviePass video, and MoviePass is back, well, and so am I. So let's talk about why MoviePass is gonna fail. And I know it's bad news. I'm giving you 3 reasons why the platform's gonna fail, and we don't even have all the details yet. But a little history lesson, a little business lesson, and maybe a little, forward-looking thinking and trying to game theory this out to see how this will play out can tell you that this is MoviePass version 2.0 isn't going to end any better than MoviePass version 1.0. So let's talk about MoviePass itself. So right now, they've relaunched under brand new leadership, brand new company. They just opened a wait list right now. You have a couple days to get on the wait list. And then around Labor Day, around September 5th of 2022, they're going to start rolling out. And it won't be nationwide. They're saying they're going to roll out in some key cities and then eventually expand the market until they get everybody covered. But the wait list is now, and that's going to be exciting. You can sign up for the wait list. There's no harm in signing up for that wait list because you're not committing to subscribe to the service. They haven't told you anything about what they're offering. All they said is that there's going to be a $10, $20, and $30 plan. And that's all that we know. We'll find out more details in the coming days, and I'll definitely make another video about that once we get the actual concrete details. But let's talk about the 3 reasons why that plan will fail. So if we think back to the original MoviePass, so the very first reason, and this is, I'll lead to the history of MoviePass, is this will never be a win-win-win relationship. So for the best business models in the world are the ones where everybody wins. The customer wins because they're getting value out of what they're paying for something. They feel that they're getting something is either commensurate or even better value of what they're paying for. The company makes money, wins when it actually makes a profit on this product and can expand and grow the business accordingly. And third, in this case and in some other cases, there's sometimes a third party, in this case, the multiplex operators, who would win just by being the actual product that's being handed over and being promoted in the service. Unfortunately for MoviePass, 2 out of those 3 parties never won the first time around, and they're not going to win this time around either. So subscribers, let's talk about them. That's you. That's me. We won. We won because we had a product where we paid less than $10 a month, and we got to see a movie every single day. And if you add it up, you were actually making money by the very first movie you saw. AMC, the country's largest theater operator, said back in 2019 that the tickets, their average ticket was like $9.70, but the average MoviePass ticket was more than $12. Why was it more? Well, maybe it's because it wasn't like there's not family tickets, but more importantly, when you were on MoviePass, you weren't worried about going to see a matinee to get a cheaper price. You weren't asking about student discounts or any other kind of discount you may be able to get at your local multiplex. You were just buying one ticket and paying full price, and MoviePass was paying the AMC or Regal or Cinemark. They were paying them the full price for that ticket. So even though you won, even though we won, even though subscribers won, it wasn't sustainable because the other 2 parties weren't winning. But yes, subscribers, they won until the business sort of went wobbly under, and then they had credit card problems, and then people were being charged for stuff they weren't getting. It was a mess. So subscribers eventually lost too, but initially subscribers really made out like bandits. And that is why MoviePass is so exciting right now, why it went from 20,000 subscribers when the company was charging $50 a month to 3.2 million subscribers at its peak a couple years later after it dropped its price down to $10, $9.99. So that's the subscribers. The MoviePass itself, they knew that they were going to lose money. They knew that they had to be selling a product that people would get more value out of it than what they're doing. But they wanted to scale it. Well, you can't scale a company that has negative gross margins. And by negative gross margins, I mean that just the fact that the revenue they were taking in from subscribers was less than they were paying out for the product, which is the movie tickets. This is before we even get to the cost of operating a business, which are substantial in every sense because people need to get paid, platforms, utilities, buildings, obligations, credit card processing fees. All these items had to be paid. The model never worked. So MoviePass never turned a profit. They never even came close to a profit. The larger it got, the more money it lost, which is why towards the end it started scaling back its operations just to try to stay afloat for a couple months more, and then it died. The third is multiplex operators. Now, ideally, if you're thinking there's 3.2 million people, they can basically, the movie theater's a buffet now for less than $10 a month. They can see as many movies as they want. They would make out like bandits, but no. Theaters hated it. And not only did they not necessarily see an uptick in revenue, in their ticketing revenue, but you also had the case where people were coming in and when they were coming to see the movies, they were devaluing the product. Let's say you saw 10 movies in a month, and I know some of you did. Some of you saw even more than that. I think I averaged maybe 5 or 6, but some of you were really rascals. You got 10, 12, 15 times, got to see movies in a month. Every single time you were there, you were devaluing the product. So let's say you saw 10 movies and you paid $9.95, you were basically, your perceived value of what each movie cost you was just $1. And that is not what Hollywood, that is not what the movie theater operators ever wanted. They wanted this to be a premium experience. It's why you go see it on the big screen, because it's worth $12, $15, $17 in some cases for a movie ticket. So theater chains didn't like it. MoviePass, they were happy to get the subscribers and it helped the stock for a little while, but at the end of the day, they lost money and they couldn't get financing, so they went belly up. Subscribers were the only ones that won. The new model can't be any different, because subscribers, if the model's going to be $10, $20, and $30, we don't know what that is, and again, we're going to find out on September 5th, maybe a little before that, before the launch. If it's $10 for one movie, and technically they would probably lose money if you saw that one movie, is that an incentive to join? Probably not. They're going to have to offer a little more than that. Same for the $20 and the $30 tier. If the $30 tier is the unlimited tier, and movie ticket prices have gone up in the last 3 years since MoviePass went out of business, clearly MoviePass, the company, is not going to be able to make a profit. So it's not going to work for them if it works for you. So right away, either MoviePass has the model or subscribers have the model. And movie theater operators, they're not going to care as much as it did before, because they know that this is not going to take off to the millions of subscribers that MoviePass had the first time around. But they can't win either. And while it may result in an initial spike in incremental revenue, if it becomes a price war with their own loyalty programs, with their own subscriber plans, it's not going to help their business to sell their products. So it's not going to work even more for them now. All three factors, 2 out of the 3 will continue to fail. Either MoviePass or the subscribers will not get a good deal out of this, and the movie theater owners definitely won't. So that brings us to the second point, and that is that theater chains, they already cracked the code. So shortly after MoviePass launched at the low price, and right before it basically went belly up, AMC introduced AMC Stubs A-List. That for $20, and then it became $22 in some markets, $20 to $24 in some markets, you could see 3 movies a week at your AMC. And unlike the original MoviePass, you could actually see them in IMAX and Dolby, whatever 3D, whatever the premium platforms are. That included those 3 reservations. So obviously AMC has done well with that. And then to a lesser extent, Cinemark and Regal have rolled out their own little clubs. Not as elaborate as AMC has, but it's all basically about paying money a month, a certain amount of money a month, and you get either a movie or some perks along the way to make the experience better. The problem here is that these companies can do this. AMC can charge you $24 or $22 or $24 depending on where you live, and basically tell you come 3 times a week. That's fine. They know you're not going to come 3 times a week, but even for those that do, who see those 12 movies, yes, it's a big hit financially for the box office, but they know they have the concession sales. So AMC, their snack sales, their beverage and snack sales right now is 32% higher per person than it was 3 years ago. So they've gotten better about their concessions, which is a high margin product for them. You can come in and you can see stuff, and even if they may take a hit on the ticketing revenue, they'll know they'll make it up in concessions, and it'll put people in seats, which is important for them. They have their platforms. Clearly, they're happy with them, or else they would have gotten rid of them. So MoviePass is going to compete against these already established systems that are profitable and are not going to go out of business the next day, because they have the financial backing of companies that are behind them for a change, which makes it a win-win in their case. But it's not going to work for MoviePass to come in and try to compete against that. It's not going to fashionably work out the way that MoviePass hopes it will, and the way that you probably hope it does, which is how it was in the old days. You can't go back there. And the third reason why MoviePass is going to fail is a more broader term, industry term. Movie theater ticket sales had been on a downward trajectory for 20 years. So you go back to 2002, and even the box office revenue here, like box office records, or hey, this is my revenue. As far as the number of tickets sold, they dropped dramatically from 2002 to where we are now. Not every year, but roughly every year you draw it out, you smooth it out. It's been a decline because for many reasons. First of all, initially, back in 15, 20 years ago, people started getting into home theaters, so you can watch the movie at home. Blu-ray. It is a risk. Blu-ray DVD, Blu-rays and DVDs came out. High quality videos in your home, and as home theaters got more inexpensive and more affordable, more people basically jacked up their living room to make it a great home theater experience. So a lot more people were watching content at home. We know that. And second of all, more recently, moving away from that, then you have the advent of the fact that there's just a lot of things to do. Streaming services have popped up. So it's dedicated streaming services that have a lot of content, including hit movies. You can see them right now. So you can fire up Peacock TV right now, and you have The Black Phone and Jurassic World, Dominion, two of the big movies this summer, are already streaming. The release window that used to be 90 days for Hollywood has shortened dramatically. So it no longer has this long time in the theaters to play out. So these things, these factors, the fact that movie theater ticket sales are on a downward trend, and so is viewership trends at the theater, is going to hurt MoviePass. It won't hurt the movie theater chain so much because they found ways to make money. AMC has a MacGuffin's bar now in almost every place. They've done to mobile ordering so you can have your concessions placed earlier and pick them up right when you get there. They've made that part of the product better. But as far as actual fannies and seats, people going to the theater, that is not going to work for MoviePass because there's less interest in that platform right now. So those are the three reasons. And while it was great, MoviePass had their moment. They captured the hearts of moviegoers everywhere for a while for a deal that was too good to be true. At the end, it was. So, and it just became just like an insurance company after a hurricane goes through, and it realizes that, hey, the premiums we collected, we're spending a lot more money paying out people to repairs for what their claims than what we actually took in them. And same thing's happening here, of course, unlike insurance company that can actually diversify over various geographical regions for when a storm hits in a certain area. MoviePass was just basically a storm that wiped it out 3 years ago. And unfortunately, unless the model is something I'm not even thinking about, and I'll talk about it once we get the details, it's going to fail again. So, yeah, sorry. I mean, I'll see it at the movies, but it's not going to be on MoviePass's dime.